All right, let's review and start talking again about factoring. What if I said, when we first started, I said to factor out the GCF. So if I had something like this, okay? If I had this and I said factor out the GCF, first off, what number is the GCF? 2. You look at the smallest number. Does 2 go into 4? Yes. Does it go into 8? Yes. Is there a letter in common in all of them? There's not, because there's not an X right there, is there? So the GCF is 2. So I'm going to pull out the GCF and write what is left. So that means I divide everything by 2. Well, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4x squared. 4 divided by 2 plus 2x. 2 divided by 2 is 1 plus 1. This, when I say just factor out the GCF, this is what it's asking you to do. Now, let's look at another one. I'm going to ask you again to factor out the GCF. First thing you need to do is find the GCF. Okay, now, I asked you about factoring out the GCF. I look at the smallest number. Does 8 go into 12? No. 4 does. 4 goes into 12. Does 4 go into 16? Some people, whoa, why'd you say 6? Now you're confusing me. All right. Some people tell me 4 is the only thing, but it is not. No, no, no. The number 4 is the GCF in the number. But what else are we missing? The X. There's 1X, 2X's, and 3X's. Be very careful. Remember, an X is in all of them. So you pull out an X, and it's the smallest exponent, so it's just an X. So now, I have to pull out the GCF. So now you're going to take 4x, and I'm going to write what's left. So you have to divide everything by 4x. All right, so now 16 divided by 4, 4. Yeah, because there's 3 x's. I've already got 1, so it's x squared. 12 divided by 4 is 3. It says x squared. That means I have 2 of them. I've already pulled out 1, so it's just an x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. These x's, they cancel out. I've already got it pulled out. This would be my answer if I asked you just to factor out the GCF. Now, I would like you now, here I want you to do 2 problems, and all I'm asking you to do is to factor out the GCF. Oh, golly, let's see.
Long numbers? Yeah, pretty sure that doesn't make sense.
Okay, so now you have these 3. Remember your steps. You need to look at the numbers and find the GCF. Then look and see if there's letters. All right, some people are freaking out because of the big numbers. I'm going to start over here on the one on the right. When I look at these, the first step I do in looking for my GCF, start with the smallest coefficient. Does 4 go into 6? No. What else goes into 4? 2. Does 2 go into 6? Does 2 go into 8? 2. Is there a letter in all of them? No. So now the GCF is just 2. So that means I'm going to divide everything by 2. So now 4 divided by 2 is 2. And don't forget the x squared. 6 divided by 2, 3x. Negative 8 divided by 2, negative 4. That's all we're doing right now is factoring out the GCF. All right, so looking over here at this one on the left, when I try and find my GCF, I always normally start with my smallest coefficient. Well, what is 64 divided by 16? 4. What is 32 divided by 16? 2. Oh, so they do go in evenly. So my GCF is 16. Now, I have x's in all of them. My smallest exponent, though, is a 3. So it's x to the 3rd power. Now, divide everything out. 16x to the 3rd. So now, I'm going to pull out the GCF, 16x to the 3rd. 64 divided by 16, we already said that was 4. It says I need 5 x's. I've already pulled out 2. How many more do I need? I'm sorry, I pulled out 3. How many more do I need? I need x squared. I need 2 of them. Now, 16 divided by 16, 1. And then I need 3 x's. I have 3 x's. That's fine. Now, if you saw this, though, too, look. 32 divided by 16, 2. Those x's cancel out. What actually can go together inside that parentheses? Yeah, I can put these two together. 16x to the 3rd times 4x squared plus 3. I didn't mean to do that, but it just kind of worked out that way. All right. So now, well, and I'm trying to point out about the x's so that we just get a little bit of a review, okay? Now let's look at slide and divide. Oh, I fibbed. We're not going to do that yet. Hold on. Let's do this one. What about this one? 7k squared plus 9k. Now, yeah, k is the same as an x. My GCF, is there a number that's the same with them? Other than 1?
No.
Yeah, 2 doesn't go into them. Okay, but what letters in common? A k. And it's the smallest exponent, which is just to a 1. So I'm going to pull out my GCF. So I divide everything by k. Well, 7. No squared. I need 2 k's. This one cancels out, so I have 1 left. Plus, these k's cancel out. 9. All I did was pull out a k. That's the only thing they had in common. Right, and so that's as low as I can get. Now, notice that there's a plus sign in between these, okay? Look at this. What if I had x squared minus 49? This is a perfect square. You could do slide and divide, but here's something I want you to notice. First off, there's no middle term, okay? And these numbers split up evenly. X splits up as x and x. What factors of 49? What are the factors that are the exact same number? Yeah, 7 times 7 is 49, right? Okay, so what I would do is do minus 7 and plus 7. Because when you go through to do this, and if I went to multiply and do the box, x minus 7, x plus 7, x squared, what happens to these two right here? They cancel out. So if you find, yeah, and that's how we get x squared minus 49. So if you find that you have something that's two terms, and there's a minus sign in between it, you can split it up evenly where one's plus and one's minus because that middle term cancels out. All right, now let's go to slide and divide. Here we go. 2b squared plus 17b plus 21. All right. Slide and divide. Ready? Step 1 is pull out the GCF. Is there a GCF? Does 2 go into 17? No. So there's no GCF. So step 2 is to slide. So what you're going to do, there's no GCF because 2 doesn't go into 17 evenly. So I'm going to take the 2, slide it to the back. When you slide it to the back, that means you multiply. So I get, some people ask me, do I have to use b squared? Can I use x? You can change it to an x if you want to. 2 times 21 is 42. Now, after you slide, now we go through and we factor. So when we factor, we split it up into 2 parentheses. The b squared splits up as b and b. I want the factors of the last number, 42. Now, if you go into the calculator, go into y equals, put 42 divided by x. What do I need my factors to add up together? Now I want to specify something. These numbers are the numbers that multiply together to give you 42. I need the factors that add up together to give you 17. Okay, so 3 plus 14, that gives me 17. So 3 and 14, because if you multiply these together, they give you 42. If you add them together, they give you 17. So I have plus 3 and plus 14. Now the very last step, if you slide, you must divide. But what am I dividing by? I'm dividing by this number I slid. So I'm going to divide by 2. Now, does 3 divided by 2, does that work out evenly? No. So put that 2 in front of the b. So I'm going to have 2b plus 3. Now what's 14 divided by 2? 7. So I have b plus 7. It does look like a 12. There you go. So here is my answer. Now, after each one, you guys should put the original problem up here into y1, what you think the answer is into y2, and make sure that you got your answer correct.
Are they going to have different x?
If they're the same, then y1 and y2 are all the same, the whole column, yes. So now, let's try this one. 5x squared minus x minus 18. Okay? Step 1 is the GCF. There's a 1 right here, so there's no number besides 1. So I don't have to do GCF. Step 2 is slide. Do I have to slide? Yeah, I got that 5 right there. So I've got to take that 5, slide it to the back. That means you have to multiply it. So I'm going to have x squared minus x. Now take 5 times negative 18, negative 90. Now we have to factor. So this one's actually not that bad. I am going to split it up into x and x now, yes. I need the factors of negative 90. So you can go into y equals and put negative 90 divided by x. So when I do that, negative 90 divided by x, what do I need these numbers to add up together to be? Negative 1. Oops, where'd it go? There we go. All right, so I've got 1 and negative 90. That's negative 89. Nope. I'm adding these together. I'm looking for negative 1. There we go. Negative 10 and 9. Because negative 10 plus 9 gives me negative 1. So I have minus 10 plus 9. It is not the answer. Remember, you have to, and that's one of the biggest mistakes today I've seen is they forget to divide. Divide by what you slid. Divide by 5. Okay. 10 divided by 5 is what? 2. So I have x minus 2. 9 divided by 5. Does that work out evenly? Nope. So I put that in front of the x. 5x plus 9, and that's your answer right here.